The peaceful message the star system of Kepler 442 hummed with activity as the Galactic Council's research fleet positioned itself around the third planet. Ambassador Vex stood on the bridge of the flagship Harmony, his scaled hands clasped behind, his back as he watched the blue-green world rotate slowly below. "Sir, we're receiving multiple transmissions from the surface," reported Communications Officer Rix. "They appear to be music signals." Vex's eye stalks swiveled toward the communications console. For 3 cycles, the Council had been monitoring this system after detecting signs of primitive civilization. The inhabitants called themselves humans, and their planet, Earth. "Play the dominant transmission," Vex ordered. The bridge filled with a strange melodic sound. Soft tones flowed through the speakers, accompanied by what the translation matrix identified as vocal harmonies. The lyrics spoke of peace, love, and unity among all beings. "Fascinating," murmured Dr. Kell, the expedition's xenobiologist. There, broadcasting messages of universal harmony across their entire communication network. Vex nodded approvingly, as expected from a species that hasn't yet achieved interstellar travel. They understand their place in the cosmic order. The humans had been broadcasting these peaceful messages for decades. Songs about ending war, embracing peace, and loving one another filled their airwaves. The Council's translation computers had analyzed millions of these transmissions, all carrying the same basic message. Humanity desired peace and harmony with all life. "Sir," Rix continued, "we're also detecting their visual entertainment broadcasts. They show similar themes, stories of cooperation, friendship, and peaceful resolution of conflicts." Vex examined the holographic displays showing human settlements. Small creatures moving about their daily lives, completely unaware that the galaxy's most advanced civilization was watching them. Their cities were modest, their technology primitive, their weapons crude chemical explosives. Perfect subjects for integration, Vex decided. Begin preparing the standard first contact protocol. The Galactic Council had encountered hundreds of species across the galaxy. Most followed the same pattern. As civilizations advanced, they naturally became more peaceful and cooperative. The humans appeared to be following this path perfectly. Doctor Kell pulled up genetic scans of the human population. Bipedal mammals, average height 1.7 meters, standard carbon-based biology. Nothing unusual about their physical capabilities. "And their planet?" Vex asked. "Gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared, quite standard. Atmospheric composition is typical for oxygen-breathing species. Surface temperature ranges are within normal parameters for inhabited worlds." Vex made his decision. These humans are clearly ready for uplift. Their peaceful nature and standard biology make them ideal candidates for Council membership. The standard first contact protocol was simple and had never failed. The Council would land at the planet's major population centers, demonstrate there advanced technology, and offer the primitive species a choice. Join the galactic community as junior partners, or remain isolated on their homeworld. Most species chose integration. Those who didn't were left alone until they advanced enough to reconsider. It was a peaceful, civilized approach that had worked for millennia. "Prepare the demonstration fleet," Vex commanded. "We'll show them our gravitational manipulators and energy shields. Once they see our technological superiority, they'll understand the benefits of joining us." The Council fleet consisted of 50 ships, each the size of a small city. Their hulls gleamed with advanced alloys that could withstand the heat of stars. Energy shields shimmered around them like soap bubbles, capable of deflecting any known weapon. "Sir, should we be concerned about their military capabilities?" asked Security Chief Nax. "Our scans show they have explosive devices and projectile weapons." Vex dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. Primitive chemical weapons pose no threat to our shielding. Besides, their own broadcasts show they prefer peaceful solutions. As the fleet moved into position above Earth's major continents, Vex felt satisfied. Another species would soon join the galactic community. The humans' peaceful music had convinced him they were ready for this next step in their evolution. "Begin the descent," he ordered. "Target their major population centers. We'll make contact simultaneously across their planet." The massive ships began their slow descent through Earth's atmosphere. On the surface below, primitive radar systems detected the approaching fleet. Vex watched with amusement as their crude detection devices tried to track the Council ships. "They're attempting to communicate with us," Rix reported. "Multiple transmissions. In various languages. Ignore them for now," Vex replied. "We'll make proper contact once we're in position. First, they need to see our power." The demonstration would be simple and effective. The Council ships would hover over major cities, displaying their advanced technology. The humans would quickly understand that resistance was futile and cooperation was their only logical choice. What could possibly go wrong with such a peaceful, advanced species? The Misunderstanding, the first Council ship, descended over New York. City at dawn, its massive bulk casting shadows across Manhattan. Ambassador Vex stood confidently on the observation deck, watching the tiny humans below scatter like insects. "Perfect response," he noted with satisfaction. "They recognize our technological superiority." What Vex didn't understand was that the humans weren't running in awe. They were running in terror. Air raid sirens wailed across the city as military bases worldwide went to maximum alert. "Sir, we're receiving urgent transmissions from there." "Governments," Communications Officer Rix reported. "The translation matrix is having difficulty with some of the language." "Play the primary transmission," Vex ordered. A gruff human voice filled the bridge. "Unknown vessels. This is the United Nations Security Council. Identify yourselves immediately and state your intentions. You have entered sovereign airspace." "Without permission," Vex chuckled. "Territorial concerns." "How primitive." "Respond with the standard greeting." The Council's response was broadcast simultaneously to every human communication device on the planet. Vex's translated voice echoed from phones, radios, and televisions worldwide. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Galactic Council. We have observed your peaceful nature and wish to offer you membership in our galactic community. Prepare to receive our representatives." Below, world leaders huddled in bunker rooms, their faces pale with fear. The humans' response was immediate and unified, something that surprised even their own governments. "Sir," Rix continued, "they're mobilizing their military forces. All of them." Vex frowned. "That seems excessive for a peaceful species. Are they planning some sort of ceremonial display?" Dr. Kell studied the readouts from their sensors. "I'm detecting massive movement of their ground forces. They're also launching atmospheric craft toward our positions." "Atmospheric craft?" Vex laughed. "Those primitive flying machines? Are they planning an air show?" The first squadron of F-22 Raptors screamed past the Council ship at supersonic speed. Their missiles detonated harmlessly against the energy shields, creating brilliant flashes of light. "Fascinating," Dr. Kell observed. "They're actually attacking us with their primitive weapons." "Must be a misunderstanding," Vex reasoned. "They probably think we're invaders from another tribe or nation. Once they realize we're from space, they'll calm down." But the humans didn't calm down. Instead, their attacks intensified. Military bases launched everything they had: missiles, rockets, and even experimental energy weapons. Nuclear submarines surfaced to fire their payloads skyward. "Sir, they're using atomic weapons," Security Chief Nax reported with concern. "Crude fusion devices, but atomic nonetheless." Vex finally began to worry. Atomic weapons? But they broadcast peaceful music constantly. Their entertainment shows peaceful themes. Perhaps, Dr. Kell suggested, we misunderstood something about their culture. The nuclear missiles exploded against the Council ship's shields like fireworks. The energy barriers held easily, but the humans' determination was becoming clear. This wasn't a ceremonial display. It was a genuine attempt to destroy the alien fleet. Run a deeper analysis of their broadcasts, Vex ordered. Focus on their news transmissions and historical records. The translation computers worked frantically, processing terabytes of human data. Within minutes, a very different picture of humanity began to emerge. Sir, Rick said slowly, I think we made an error in our analysis. What kind of error? The peaceful music we detected, it appears to be entertainment, fiction. The humans create these songs as artistic expression, not as statements of their actual nature. Vex's eye stalks widened. You mean they're not actually peaceful? No. Sir, their historical records show constant warfare. They've been fighting each other continuously for their entire recorded history. The peaceful music appears to be what they call wishful thinking. Dr. Kell's voice was tense as he continued analyzing the data. Sir, we need to review their biological classification. Their planet isn't a standard world. What do you mean? Earth is what they call a death world. The gravity is actually quite high. The atmospheric pressure is intense, and the planet is constantly trying to kill everything on it. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, violent storms, temperature extremes, ... And? The humans? They're not standard biology at all. They're what the galaxy classifies as Deathworld predators. Their bone density is 3 times galactic average. Their muscle fibers are designed for this high-gravity environment, and Sir persistence hunters. Vex felt his blood run cold. Persistence hunters? They evolved to chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. They can run for hours without stopping. Their entire physiology is built for endurance and survival in extreme conditions. Below them, more human aircraft rose to attack the fleet. But now Vex understood what he was seeing. These weren't primitive creatures cowering before advanced technology. These were apex predators defending their territory. Sir, Nax reported grimly, they're launching what appears to be their entire global arsenal. Every nation on the planet is targeting our ships. Vex realized his terrible mistake. The humans hadn't gotten the message wrong. The Council had. The Deathworld Awakens Major Tom Blake stood in the Pentagon's command center, watching satellite feeds of the alien ships hovering over major cities worldwide. At 42, he'd seen action in 3 different conflicts, but nothing had prepared him for this. Sir, all nuclear-armed nations have confirmed readiness, reported his aide. Russia, China, Pakistan, India, Israel, France, Britain, everyone's. Online and coordinating targeting data. Blake nodded grimly. And the conventional forces? Every military base on Earth is firing everything they have. The aliens' shields are holding, but we're learning. Above New York, the Council ship Harmony shuddered as another wave of nuclear missiles detonated against its shields. Ambassador Vex gripped the command rail, his previous confidence evaporating. Shield strength down to 87%. Security Chief Nax reported, these humans are using significantly more firepower than anticipated. How is that possible? Vex demanded. They're a primitive species. Dr. Kell's voice was strained as he continued analyzing human data. Sir, they're not primitive at all. They've been fighting wars with these weapons for decades. Their entire industrial base is designed for warfare. The screens showed human military movements across the globe. Tanks rolled through streets, aircraft. Carriers launched fighter jets, and missile silos opened worldwide. But it wasn't just military forces. Civilian populations were mobilizing too. In Texas, Ranch owners pulled hunting rifles from closets. In Switzerland, citizen militias activated mountain fortresses. In Finland, civilians disappeared into forests with military-grade equipment. In Israel, reserve forces appeared within hours. They're all armed, Dr. Kell observed with growing horror. The entire population has access to weapons. That's impossible, Vex protested. No civilized species arms its entire population. Sir, they're not civilized by our standards. They're a warrior species. Their entire culture is built around conflict and survival. The first signs of human adaptation appeared within hours. Military engineers were already studying the alien shield frequencies. While scientists analyzed debris from near-miss impacts, the humans were learning. Sir, Rix called out urgently, we're detecting new weapon signatures. They're modifying their existing armaments. Blake watched the same data from his bunker. Jenkins, status report on the electromagnetic pulse research. We've isolated the shield frequency, sir. The aliens are using rotating harmonic barriers. If we can synchronize our EMPs, do it. The first coordinated EMP attack came from 3 directions simultaneously. The Council ship's shields flickered for a moment, just a few seconds, but it was enough. Conventional missiles slipped through the gaps, impacting the hull directly. Hull breach on decks 7 through 12, Nax reported. Casualties reported. Vex stared at the damage reports in disbelief. They've wounded us? With primitive weapons? Sir, recommend immediate retreat to safe distance, Nax urged. These humans are more dangerous than any species we've encountered, but Vex's pride was wounded. No, we're the Galactic Council. We don't retreat from primitives. Bring the fleet to offensive posture. The Council ships began charging there. Energy weapons, massive beam arrays designed to disable hostile vessels. The plan was simple: destroy the humans' major military installations and force their surrender. Blake watched the alien ship's power signatures spike. They're powering weapons. All units, prepare for incoming fire. The first energy beams lanced, down from orbit, targeting military bases and government installations. The weapons were designed to disable, not destroy. The Council still hoped to preserve the human population for eventual integration. But they had misunderstood human psychology entirely. Instead of surrendering, the attacks only enraged the humans. Further, military units scattered and went underground. Civilians evacuated cities and disappeared into countryside. The humans were adapting with terrifying speed. Sir, Dr. Kell reported, they're not behaving like any species we've encountered. Normal civilizations surrender when faced with superior technology. Then why aren't they surrendering? Vex demanded. Because they're not normal, sir. They're apex predators from a Deathworld. When threatened, they don't submit, they fight harder. The proof came within hours. Human forces that had been scattered. By the energy weapon attacks regrouped and launched counterstrikes. But now they were using different tactics: guerrilla warfare, hit-and-run attacks, and psychological warfare. Underground bunkers launched missiles at precise intervals, forcing the Council ships to maintain their shields constantly. Special Forces teams began targeting the smaller alien vessels that had landed to deploy ground forces. Sir, Nax reported with growing concern, we're losing contact with our ground teams. The humans are hunting them. Blake smiled grimly as he watched the tactical reports. Phase 2 is working. The aliens think they're dealing with a normal species. They have no idea what they've awakened. The Deathworld had been provoked. And Deathworld predators don't surrender. They eliminate threats. The hunt begins, staff. Sergeant Maria Rodriguez crouched in the abandoned subway tunnel beneath London, her team of 12 soldiers moving silently through the darkness. Above them, the alien ship Serenity hummed with power, its landing parties searching the evacuated city. "Contact ahead," whispered Private Davis through the comm. 3 aliens, standard patrol formation. Rodriguez studied the thermal imaging on her visor. The aliens moved awkwardly in Earth's gravity, their bulky environmental suits making them clumsy. They hadn't expected to need ground forces at all. "Remember," she whispered to her team, "we're not trying to win a fair fight. We're hunting." The first alien patrol never knew what hit them. Rodriguez's team struck from multiple directions. Crossbow bolts took out the lead alien's helmet seal, while flash grenades disoriented the others. Within seconds, all 3 were down. "Strip their equipment," Rodriguez ordered. "Intel wants everything." Meanwhile, in the Australian outback, Aboriginal tracker Jack Thompson led a mixed team of special forces and local hunters. They'd been tracking alien reconnaissance drones for 6 hours, learning their patterns. "They scan in predictable sweeps," Thompson explained to the British SAS operative beside him. "Move when they're facing away, freeze when they turn toward. Like hunting crocodiles." The aliens had expected human resistance to collapse after their orbital bombardment. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that had vanished into the landscape like ghosts. Aboard the Harmony, Ambassador Vex studied the casualty reports with growing alarm. In just 12 hours, humanity had destroyed 4 landing parties and captured alien technology. How are they adapting so quickly? He demanded. Dr. Kell's analysis was grim. "They're not just adapting, sir. They're evolving their tactics in real time. Each attack is more sophisticated than the last." The screens showed human military movements across the globe. But these weren't the massed formations the Council had expected. Instead, small teams of humans were emerging from caves, forests, and underground bunkers to strike at alien positions. "Sir," Communications Officer Ricks reported, "we're intercepting human transmissions. They're sharing tactical information globally." "What kind of information?" "Weak points in our armor, shield frequencies, patrol patterns. They're treating this as a ... learning experience." In the Swiss Alps, former military engineer Klaus Weber studied pieces of alien technology his team had captured. "The power source is quantum-based," he explained to the international team of scientists working in the mountain bunker. "But their targeting systems assume much slower reflexes." "How much slower?" asked Dr. Sarah Chun, the team's physicist. "About 3 times slower than human average. They're built for their low-gravity homeworld." The information was transmitted worldwide within minutes. Human forces began using the aliens' slow reflexes against them, developing new tactics based on speed and unpredictability. Colonel Mike Patterson coordinated resistance efforts from a bunker in Colorado. "The aliens are used to civilized warfare," he explained to his international counterparts via secure communication. "They expect negotiations, surrender, organized resistance. They don't understand insurgency. And they don't understand humans," added General Liu from Beijing. "My forces have been studying their psychology. They're genuinely confused by our refusal to surrender." The truth was becoming clear to military leaders worldwide. The aliens weren't evil. They were simply incompetent. They'd misjudged humanity completely and were now paying the price. In Africa, Maasai warriors worked alongside modern soldiers, their traditional hunting skills proving invaluable against alien patrols. In the Amazon, indigenous tribes used blow darts coated with fast-acting paralytic agents. In Siberia, Russian special forces vanished into the tundra, emerging only to strike at alien supply lines. "Sir," Security Chief Nax reported aboard the Harmony, "we've lost contact with 37% of our ground forces. Recommend immediate withdrawal." Vex slammed his fist on the command console. "We're the Galactic Council. We don't retreat from primitives. Sir, with respect, they're not primitives. They're the most effective warriors we've ever encountered." "Doctor," Kell's voice was urgent. Sir, I've completed the analysis of their evolutionary history. These humans aren't just Deathworld predators. They're persistence hunters who evolved to kill megafauna, creatures much larger than themselves. What does that mean? It means they're biologically programmed to hunt and kill things bigger than they are. They see our ships as prey. The implications hit Vex like a physical blow. The humans weren't defending their planet. They were hunting the Council fleet. Sir, Rix called out, we're detecting multiple launches from the surface. They're sending something toward our orbital positions. Blake watched the launch telemetry from his bunker. Package delivery time, he announced. Let's see how they handle a few surprises. The hunt had begun in earnest. And humans were very, very good at hunting. The reckoning the packages reached. Orbit exactly as planned. What the aliens detected as primitive chemical rockets were actually humanity's most advanced weapons, disguised and modified specifically for this moment. Admiral Jackson watched from the Strategic Command bunker as the first phase of humanity's counterattack began. All units execute Operation Deathworld. The packages weren't warheads, they were delivery systems. Each one contained thousands of small, self-guided projectiles designed to exploit the one weakness human engineers had discovered in alien technology. Their shields were optimized for large energy attacks, not small kinetic impacts. The first Council ship to die was the Serenity. Its shields flickered and failed as millions of tungsten needles, each no bigger than a pencil, penetrated its hull at hypersonic speeds. The ship broke apart in a shower of debris and atmosphere. Impossible, Ambassador Vex whispered as he watched. The destruction. They can't have developed counter-technology so quickly. Dr. Kell's voice was filled with dread. Sir, they didn't develop it. They already had it. Those weren't primitive chemical rockets. They were advanced kinetic weapons, disguised as primitive technology. You mean they were hiding their capabilities? No, sir. I mean they were playing with us. The truth was even worse than Vex imagined. Humanity had been holding back, using only their older weapons while they studied alien technology. The nuclear, missiles, the conventional attacks, the ground resistance, all of it had been a giant intelligence-gathering operation. Colonel Patterson's voice echoed across secure channels worldwide. Phase 2 is complete. All units, weapons free. Show them what a Deathworld species can really do. What followed was unlike anything in galactic history. The humans didn't just fight back, they dominated. Ships that had seemed invincible began falling from the sky. The Council's energy weapons, designed to disable civilized opponents, were useless against an enemy that had scattered into millions of small mobile units. Sir, Security Chief Nax reported, we're detecting massive energy signatures from there. Surface installations. They're powering up something big. The something big was humanity's real military-industrial complex. Underground factories that had been producing weapons for decades, hidden particle accelerators, and classified energy weapons that made nuclear devices look primitive. The first real human weapon to fire was a relativistic kill vehicle launched from a hidden base in Montana. It struck the Council flagship Harmony at 12% of light speed, vaporizing the entire forward section instantly. Vex found himself on the emergency bridge, his ship crippled and his fleet in chaos. Half the Council ships were destroyed or disabled. The others were fleeing toward the outer system. Sir, Rix called out, we're receiving a transmission from the surface. It's from their leader. Blake's voice filled the bridge, calm and professional. This is Colonel Blake of the United Earth Defense Force. You have 60 seconds to surrender all remaining vessels and submit to boarding, or we will demonstrate why this planet is classified as a death world. 60 seconds? Vex sputtered. We're the Galactic Council. We don't surrender to primitives. 45 seconds, Blake continued. I should mention that we've been monitoring your communications. We know about the Galactic Council. We know about your other member species. And we know you've made this same mistake before. Dr. Kell's voice was barely a whisper. Sir, they've been learning about us the entire time. This wasn't a first contact scenario. It was an intelligence operation. 20 seconds, Blake announced. You should know that we've already reverse-engineered your FTL drives. We'll be visiting your homeworld soon to discuss your aggressive expansion policies. The final realization hit Vex like a hammer blow. The humans hadn't just defended their planet. They'd captured enough alien technology to become a spacefaring species overnight, and they were predators. Sir, Nax urged, we must surrender. These humans are not a primitive species. They're a military superpower pretending to be primitive. 10 seconds, Blake continued. Choose wisely. We know where you live. Vex looked around his destroyed bridge, at his decimated fleet, at the blue-green Deathworld that had just announced its intention to visit other planets. The humans had gotten the message perfectly. It was the Council that had misunderstood everything. We surrender, Vex whispered. Excellent, Blake replied. Now, let's discuss the terms of the Galactic Council's new relationship with Earth. You're going to find us very different from your other member species. As human ships began rising from the planet's surface, ships built from captured alien technology, but armed with human weapons, the galaxy was about to learn what happened when you poked a Deathworld. The humans had been peaceful in their music, because they were confident in their strength. Now the galaxy would learn why. The end